I think we should speak clearly and plainly. And that is, there is absolutely no question that within the halls of our own legislators, that there is a desire to bring THC in, because once you get that in, then it seems foolish not to have medical marijuana.
Absolutely. Well, and they're saying it publicly.
And they're saying it publicly.
They are saying it publicly. So then you go from THC to medical marijuana, and what follows right after that? Full recreational.
Yeah.
It happens day in, day out, state in, state out.
So I want everybody in South Carolina to hear this really clearly. The reason why Palmetto Family is for the ban on THC drinking is not just that it makes people high, which we oppose 100%.
Correct.
But I want everybody to understand this is the open door to medical marijuana, yes, which is the open door to recreational marijuana. And we would be foolish to think that that's not the goal of those who are trying to get to those points. That is their goal. Welcome to the Palmetto Family Matters Show. I'm Steve Pettit, president of Palmetto Family Council, and I'm here with my good friend and co-laborer, Executive Vice President Randy Page. Randy, how you doing?
Doing well. It's great to be here today.
Well, welcome to South Carolina.
Weather changes a lot, doesn't it?
Like a baby's diaper. And so, yesterday was beautiful warm, and today was a little chilly. Well, today we're going to talk about two things. Number one, we're going to talk about the crossroads that South Carolina is standing at right now, which direction it's going to go. And secondly, we're going to talk about our candidate faith forum coming up in May. And that is going to be a big show and event taking place here in nearby Columbia.
Yes, sir.
So, Randy, let's talk about the crossroads. What do we mean by crossroads?
Well, as we've often said, this session has really brought a lot of issues to the forefront. And I think, when you look at just the magnitude of the types of issues that we're discussing, and even as we were talking just ahead of starting recording today, looking at the number of pieces of legislation the Palmetto family has weighed in on this year. It's just staggering.
Yeah.
And so there's really been a lot out there. And I think, looking at it there really have been two overarching issues that have dominated this session, that being the issue of gambling in its several forms, and then the issue of THC-infused drinks or marijuana. And so those have been two things that, have kept South Carolina has been different, because we did not allow gambling as far as casinos and things like that. And then we have, are one of the states that has not had marijuana legalization in any form. And of course, the Farm Bill changed that, THC changed that.
Right.
And so the legislature has been grappling with that a good bit over the last few weeks, and likely for a few weeks to come.
Yeah. So when we talk about, let's break those down, gambling and marijuana. So in South Carolina, we have a state education lottery.
Correct.
And that has been, how long has that been in?
I think this state education lottery has been around since around 2000-ish.
Okay. So about 25 years.
Correct.
Or so.
So yes.
And that covers primarily the scholarship money for colleges and universities.
Yes.
So really, we haven't had anything. We don't have dog racing gambling. We don't have horse betting. We don't have online sports betting. We don't have casinos. We used to have video poker, and we got rid of that,
thankfully.
So South Carolina has been pretty much clean. We don't really have a state gambling commission.
No.
That will allow the gambling industry to grow. And so the desire is to keep gambling out of South Carolina.
Absolutely. I think that, anytime you look at the issue of gambling, And whether it's the state lottery, whether it's online sports betting, whether it's casinos, all of it is very, very predatory.
Mm-hmm.
You look at where do they put casinos? Where do they put lottery tickets? Where do they put lottery advertisements? Who do they target? And then online sports betting, just that it's a constant drip of, if you bet $100 today and you haven't been around for 2 or 3 days, someone's reaching out to you to say, hey, here's a free $150.
Right.
And then, of course, obviously you've got to add your own money because the house is always going to win.
Right.
And so it's just, really been interesting to watch, the whole thing develop this year, in that it's, at least in my recollection, the first year that you have had a multiplicity of bills on gambling that have been introduced and debated in subcommittees and committees.
So tell us the bills that have come up.
So we've had 4 different bills, at least that I can remember off the top of my head. You had the casino bill that made it through the House Ways and Means Sub and the House Ways and Means Committee. And then at the beginning of January was actually recommitted back to committee by the House Majority Leader, Davey Hyatt. So that essentially, while not dead for the year, is dead for the year.
Okay.
And then you had another bill, the horse betting bill. It had failed to get a favorable report in subcommittee. They tweaked it a little bit in committee. It came out of committee with a favorable report and is now sitting on the Senate floor in second reading status. So that one is kind of the one that is out there, because I think so many people understand that horse betting is kind of the nose under the tent.
Right.
If you can't get horse betting in South Carolina, you're not going to get casinos. You're not going to get online sports betting. I mean, so you've got to have something to kind of just stick its nose under that tent. And horse betting is that vehicle. And then, the other bill that, obviously we've had a subcommittee hearing on online sports betting. That's out there. It's in the news. There was an interesting op-ed this week that one of the professors at North Greenville University, Dr. Nathan Finn, wrote that was in World Magazine. And then the Wall Street Journal had another really good article talking about like the predictive markets and how they really are having sports betting that's available now in all 50 states. And so what, needs to be done at the federal level to kind of curtail that. And so it's really been interesting to watch, whether it's NBC News, whether it's the Wall Street Journal, whether it's CBS News, whether it's 60 Minutes, understanding the scourge and the predatory nature of gambling.
Yeah, they keep throwing out that they generally are not throwing out really positive stories.
Correct.
Let me tell you what a blessing gambling has been and how much money you can make.
That's correct.
It's like the opposite over and over and over.
Yes, and it's really interesting because we all know the house always wins. That's the way they make money. Because if the house doesn't win, they don't make money. And to see just the pervasive nature that gambling has had, whether it's been in, Major League Baseball, all of these different things, to where they're advertising, the NBA, it's everywhere. You can't go anywhere without encountering a gambling ad.
Right.
Period.
Right.
I pick up my phone and probably within 5 minutes, I'm going to have at least one.
Yeah.
At least one.
Everybody knows FanDuel.
That's right. FanDuel, DraftKings, I mean, you name it.
Right.
And so, they're very, very interested in trying to get people addicted to their product.
Right.
And, their product really does nothing positive for society.
Right.
It hurts families. It hurts budgets. It hurts all kinds of different things and communities. So
yeah, and I think it's important. I really think it's important to say something as a South Carolinian, because these are decisions made by states. It's not made by the federal government. Correct. About what to do. And South Carolina last year, 2025, grew more than any other state in the union. So a lot of people are moving here. They're not moving here because of gambling. They're not moving here because of marijuana.
Correct.
They're moving here for a lot of reasons. One of them being the culture of the state.
Correct.
There's something about it they like.
Correct.
They
Right.
want to be here.
Right.
And whether it's the beach or the mountains, or they like the cities or the people. But if you bring into the state, let's say, a very clear vice, we would call gambling and marijuana vices, then that vice is going to impact the culture of the state.
Absolutely.
And we're not the size of Texas.
Oh.
We're not the size of Florida. We're not even the size of Georgia or North Carolina. And mark it down, every one of you are listening, if we bring in the vices, it is going to impact the state. Maybe not the first year, maybe not the second year, but the long-term damaging effect that will come upon the state, especially upon the younger generation,
Yes.
25, 30 years old and under, where this becomes normative. Marijuana now is normative. Gambling is now normative. Betting on your phone is normative. Then what our legislators have to understand, and I know they do, but in the heat of the moment, sometimes you don't think that way, that you are bringing in a law that's going to change our state, and it will become different.
Absolutely. And I think, on other issues that we've seen, whether at the federal level or at the state level, is as soon as something is normalized or as soon as something is legislated to be normal,
Right.
then everything begins to change at a much quicker pace.
Right.
And so I think, specifically we saw that with same-sex marriage and just kind of saw that change in attitude, no matter very quickly, and that the numbers just literally flipped.
And that really leads us into the issue of marijuana, because in the state of South Carolina, we have not allowed any kind of marijuana that has the hallucinogenic aspect to it, the THC aspect to it. So we don't have it obviously in any form of smoking, recreational. We don't have it in medicinal, but now we are getting it in THC in a can. I got a question to ask. How did it get in?
Well, essentially it's through a federal bill, the Farm Bill, back in, I think it was 2017, 2018. And so, they've been having, these THC drinks that are available. I think you can go to your local Circle K and get them if you want them. You can get your gummies at your Circle K. You can get all of these things that are out there. And I think for many people, including legislators, they really didn't see it coming. And then it just kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger. And they finally said, oh, maybe we need to do something about this. And so I think that's why you've seen so many different things this year was, some of them come at it as how can we get rid of it completely? Right. Which would be our position. While others come at it about how can we protect children? Because, kids should not in any way, shape, or form have access to any of those kinds of products.
So let me ask you this. Prior to, let's say right now where we are, basically we didn't really have a grip from a law perspective on what to do with THC.
Absolutely. And I think that, that was really the impetus of, what brought about, the bills where, you had Representative Wooten that brought something forth on the edibles, and then Representative Newton, Wooten and Newton, Newton brought forth a bill that would highly regulate and then a bill that would ban. And so those have kind of been the three different things that we've been looking at over the past weeks.
So in one way, a lot of people would say, and I'm not going to play the devil's advocate in this, but a lot of people would say, look, why don't you just regulate it like you regulate alcohol consumption?
Right. Yeah. And that has been, we've heard that ad nauseum on the floor.
Yeah. So it sounds like the reasonable position of saying, look, we allow alcohol. You can't drink alcohol. Let's do this. They're drinking this. Okay, they get high or they get a buzz, but you can get that through alcohol. So it's almost like an apple to apple issue.
Right. Yeah. And obviously, I mean, it's funny because, there are some people who think because we oppose, THC that we love alcohol. And, to me, alcohol is poison, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
And that's not something I support. And it's not something that we at Palmetto Family support. And so, I think that, you've got different people coming at it from different ways. And, whether you're talking about the Senate or the House, you've got different groups that are kind of in different tribes going, this is where I want to go. And if I can get there, I'm going to get there. But if I can't, I can't. And so this is as far as I'm going to go. I think for us, from a policy standpoint, we truly believe that a ban is the best public policy, period. The other interesting thing is that from a federal law perspective, as of November the 12th, they're supposed to be banned nationally.
This year.
So it's kind of an interesting thing to see, what do we do? Obviously, there are people who say it is going to happen. There are people who say it isn't going to happen, but that's obviously out there. And so I think that has added some extra drama to the whole thing as well.
And I think we should speak clearly and plainly. And that is, there is absolutely no question that within the halls of our own legislators, that there is a desire to bring THC in, because once you get that in, then it seems foolish not to have medical marijuana.
Absolutely. Well, and they're saying it publicly.
They are saying it publicly. So then you go from THC to medical marijuana, and what follows right after that? Full recreational. Yeah.
It happens day in, day out, state in, state out.
So I want everybody in South Carolina to hear this really clearly. The reason why Palmetto Family is for the ban on THC drinking is not just that it makes people high, which we oppose 100%.
Correct.
But I want everybody to understand this is the open door to medical marijuana, yes, which is the open door to recreational marijuana. And we would be foolish to think that that's not the goal of those who are trying to get to those points. That is their goal.
Absolutely.
And I don't think those of you sitting here, particularly Christians who are completely opposed to this, you need to speak up with a voice and let people know that you oppose this, because this is coming to South Carolina.
Yes. They often say you should believe people when they say something. That's what they're saying. Believe them. That's their goal. That's where they're going. This is their map.
All right, let's move on to the next point we want to talk about, and that is the Candidates Faith Forum. So remind all of our listeners what's going on politically in South Carolina this year.
Sure. Right now, we're literally in the middle of candidate filing session. So candidates are filing to run for every office, from governor to treasurer to state superintendent to Congress, U.S. Senate, and then all 124 House members are up for election. And so you have the filing closes Monday, March 30th at noon. So once that happens, then filing is over. And then the next big date electorally is going to be June the 9th, is when the primaries will be held. And then if a candidate does not get 50% of the vote plus one, they run 2 weeks later for a primary runoff. But in the middle of that, I think all of us have seen, different groups talk about, this debate and this forum, but there's never really been yet this cycle, a faith forum, to where candidates are being asked questions that are of interest to people of faith. And so Palmetto Family and Faith Wins are partnering together to present a candidate forum on Thursday, May 21st at Village Church in Blythewood. And last week we announced that Senator Lindsey Graham, Attorney General Alan Wilson, and State Senator Stephen Goldfinch have committed to come and speak at that event. We've got some more commitments since then, and we're getting ready to roll those out. So probably do that later this week. But we're really excited about what we're going to have, and it's going to serve as an educational forum. It's not a debate. Each candidate will come out, be asked questions that they will answer. They'll be the only one on the platform other than the moderators. And then they'll be able to interact with voters. And this is an event literally that is taking place just ahead of when early voting will open. And so really super thankful to Pastor Eric Estep at Village Church for opening up his brand new worship center. They just started worshiping in there, I think, a week or so ago. And so we're going to have that 1,200 seat auditorium and look forward to welcoming people from across the state to come. It's free. Just come. We'd love to have you, and you can listen to what each candidate has to say and to learn more about their races. So really looking forward to having that on May the 21st.
So no tickets?
No tickets.
Okay, first come, first serve?
First come, first serve.
Okay, well, that should be a great event, and I'm going to assume that there's going to be a pretty good crowd of folks coming in.
Yes, sir.
And the great thing is we get to ask them really straightforward questions about where they stand on key issues.
Yeah, and I think, again, they're at party events, they're at events that are really looked at on the economic side, but this really is the only event where we're going to look at issues that are deeply important to people of faith and to have them to express that to them in a one-on-one forum.
All right. Well, keep up with us here at Palmetto Family as so much is moving along really, really quickly. And I want to encourage you to go online and register with us through our website, palmettofamily.org, if you've not done that, because we send out communications at least twice a week. Yes. We send out the Palmetto Insider, which is really basically different articles that talk about the issues of today we're facing. And then during the session, we send out every Friday another communications called Capital Connection. And that basically tells you what happened in the State House that week regarding the things that we're concerned about as people of faith. And I'll tell you what, this is without a doubt the best communication on a week-by-week basis for people of faith in the state of South Carolina. And if you don't get this, you basically will not know what's going on. And if you get this, you will be in the know.
Absolutely.
So get the Capital Connection. Also, you can, if you're interested in getting an action alert announcement to you via or through your phone. So, for example, let's say a vote is coming up in the State House in the next 48 hours. We send out these action alerts from Palmetto Family, and it'll give you a link where you can actually contact your representative or your senator to let them know where you stand, and you can do that through our Voter Voice program. Right. So if you will basically send a text to 50457, and write in the word Palmetto. Then the moment you send it, then you will be in our system, and we'll send you out text to let you know what's going on, and you can respond and have a voice.
Absolutely.
In South Carolina. Well, Randy, we appreciate you coming on today and keeping us up to speed. Randy is our lobbyist in the State House. And it's just today we got to go over with the Church Ambassador Network. Yes. We had pastors from around the state. And what did we do? We just read scripture and prayed Amen. With our legislators. And it is making a difference. Yes. You can't bring the Spirit, into the atmosphere, and not see the Lord at work.
That's right.
So thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to Palmetto Family Matters Show.
Great. Thank you.